do that for me? Yeah, I'd fly this whole world twice if I could be a paradise.
Do you hear what's playing right now from my end, or is it just me right now that you hear? So I'm saying, like, can you hear anything from my end, like, or is it just my microphone that you hear? Because I want to mute everything else just in case some stuff comes up. Yeah, I can't do coffee, man. Like, especially now, it's like 3:12 right now. After like 7 in the morning, that's my time. If I don't drink, I can't. If I drank it right now, like what you just did, I won't sleep until tomorrow night. Yeah, that's crazy. All right.
Get ready to get inspired. This is the Go for the Goldie podcast.
Hello, it's Sunday, August 30th, 2020, and welcome to another episode of the Go for the Goldie podcast. Joining me today is the Wizard of Watts, the Sorcerer of Cycling, the bike beast himself, Wilson Wei. Welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
Hey, good. How are you, dude?
I am doing very well, very well. This is a very exciting show for me because you are literally, I never told you this, and I've told every person on the show I've had so far, because we're only at 13 episodes in, but you are literally the reason I got into Zwift on Twitch. So,
really?
Thank you very much, sir. You are
Hey, man. I'm just doing my thing. I'm actually really happy to have you say that, because that actually means a lot to me. You know what I mean? So thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're very inspiring, man. I mean, I had my girlfriend, or my fiance is, she's going to kill me. I just said girlfriend. But she's very excited to hear from you as well, because we sat down when we were watching, when you were kind of doing color commentary on that race last week when we were watching you, and she was like,
yeah,
is this Bike Beast? And I'm like, yes, he's hilarious, right? And she was all excited for the show. So you got another fan too. She just will randomly start watching you when you go live as well. She doesn't even have she uses my Twitch account to watch. So it's
hey, nice.
Yeah, we'll make her sign up and so you get another follower. So real quick, I mean, I always like to give a quick backgrounder on who you are and why you're on the show. So as it says on the panel there, you're a Twitch affiliate, and your main game would be Zwift. You do play other games, but
right.
So what other game do you play? Because I know it's a popular one, but I don't even know the name of it that I see you playing sometimes.
Honestly, I kind of bounce around different ones, but right now I just got done with my Deus Ex series, the first one, and I think the third one, and then somebody recommended Witcher 3, and that's a really long game. I just started with that one.
Okay. Now, were you on Twitch before you got into Zwift and cycling and all that? Did you have a Twitch account before that, or no?
No.
So you've been playing games pretty much, it sounds like, your whole life, but
yeah.
But really just recently got into the Twitch realm, right?
Yeah. Zwift got me into Twitch, and that got me into streaming.
Got it. Same path for me as well. So what? How long have you been on Twitch then?
I got on Twitch, let's see, I would probably say better half, like basically all of this year. I got my smart trainer last Christmas, and then I started streaming January until now.
Okay.
So, just all 2020.
And how long did it take you to become an affiliate?
I want to say March, like mid-March or end of March.
Okay. Yeah, you are
Yeah.
very entertaining to watch. So it doesn't surprise
Thank
me.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
doesn't
dude.
surprise me that it didn't take you very long to become an affiliate. I actually stole your streaming avatars. Like I saw you doing that, and I'm like,
I
that is an awesome element to add to the stream. So shout out to you there that you gave me that idea.
Hey, that's all we do though. Honestly, now that you mentioned affiliate, like I was saying, I credit a lot of it, and you'll see it in my streams. I'll say it a lot, but I credit it to the people. It's not really me. I mean, everybody can be entertaining, right? You're entertaining. Like, I watch you for the same reason you probably watch me, is that we get motivation from doing what we do and then how we present it. So like you're saying, like, oh, hey, if I want to see something really cool, or like, oh, I see this, or I can do something like this, or this looks nice. That's how we like take bits and pieces from each other. And then that's how we build. And like I said, without the people that have supported me, I cannot be an affiliate, because Zwift is so small. It is like a niche. Like there's maybe, when I started, there was literally, from when people were watching me, I only had 2 or 3 viewers every day. Every single day.
Now your streams are lit, baby.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it comes back to the people actually wanting to, like, they didn't think I was boring. I was like, oh man, I was like, I never thought in 1,000 years I would do that. I would just like thought somebody would just watch it. I stream it so that I'm not watching the paint dry.
Yep. And that's,
So-
I mean, I in the beginning of this quarantine, I've been like really into comedy like my whole life, and I've never had the courage to actually get on stage and do it. And I've written a bunch of stuff, and
Yeah.
I kind of did like an intrinsic look on myself, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess it's more, maybe not even the comedy, it's entertaining. I like entertaining other people. I like,
Yeah.
I've always been the class clown. I've always been the goofy, never take life too seriously kind of person. And your stream, when I really started to kind of take, because I'll tell you, the way I got onto Twitch was, I came up with the idea that I wanted to stream this ridiculous game. It's called Jerry Rice and Nidus Dog Football. You've probably never heard of it. It's a ridiculous Wii game. And yeah, I stumbled on this like maybe 6 years ago. It was like $8, and it's the most ridiculous game you can imagine. It's Jerry Rice put his name to this. I have no idea why. I mean, it's an incredible game for but it's, you have one character who's the quarterback, and then you have the rest of the players are dogs. And it's ridiculous, but it's fun. And if you go on my Twitch page, that's when I started streaming, because I didn't really understand the concept of Twitch, but it's like, I mean, I understand the concept of it, but there's just so much nuance and things to really dive into, but you got to get started somewhere, So I started on Twitch as trying to be kind of I was pretending like this dog football was like the NFL. You know what I mean? And I was like having backstories for all the dogs, and I was, having storylines and making it dramatic, and that's how I got into Twitch. And then I'll never forget my buddy, because I was talking about streaming on Twitch. He's like, no one's gonna watch you, man. Like, you got to be good at something to like have people like. You got to have a reason for people to watch you. They're not going to watch this nonsensical game that no one's ever heard of. No one's cared. So then I'm like, I thought about that, and I'm like, well, I'm a triathlete, and I thought about Zwift, and then I saw that it was a category on Twitch, and then I came across you, and that's when the light bulb went off. So, like you said though, that sense of community. I mean, from day one, Onyx has just been a real fun person to be around online, and Ray. I mean, everybody. I mean, the banter that you had with your community when I saw your first ride, right there, that's when the light bulb went on for me. I was like, this is what I want to dedicate my time to. So it's cool, but you're right about that community thing. It's, and a lot of your prizes, and I don't even know the terms for a lot of this stuff though, but like channel points, for you, a lot of the rewards that you have are hilarious, and they're fun, and they're, they're cool, and it gets people engaged, and I'm starting to dive into that world now. You'll see the tennis balls behind me. I have a laundry thing, so I'll turn around, or I try to throw it over my shoulder and get it in the laundry basket, and if I miss, I got to do like 10 seconds, it's 700 watts or something like that, you know. So it's and I missed
Don't give my chat ideas, man. That is horrible for me.
You're listening. Like, there's 6 people on everything, so yeah.
I'm getting nervous now, man. Is this a setup? Is this a setup?
This has been a whole ruse to get you to do crazy stuff, crazier stuff.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, it's the community is awesome, and you know that like you said, Zwift is definitely that niche, you know, and that's where I saw it too. I'm like, you talk about like Call of Duty, or you talk about Fortnite or Fall Guys, or some of these games that are just insane, the amount of people that are watching, and it's like, how are you going to make any waves in there? You know what I mean? Like it's just like too big. You know what I mean? Where I saw when you go on Zwift and you look at, you know, people watching, it's like, oh, it's the same people, and it's like people encouraging each other, and in my opinion, there's so much to do on Zwift that you just can't do it all. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
I don't race ever because I'm like on a training plan with triathlon. You know what I mean? So like,
I don't race either. I'm too busy doing all the stuff my chat's making me do.
I love.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing is everybody has that sort of their specialization, if you will, right? Like you're saying, some people don't race, some people just do workouts, some people do trainer roads, some people just, you know, do this or this. There's so many avenues that you could go about it. And once you find that, that's how you build your community. You can't just, you know, do the same thing as somebody else, or else it doesn't get fun. And you just gotta make it fun for yourself.
It's not genuine.
Right.
You know, if I were to just do exactly what you did, it's like, well, that's
right.
Then I'll just watch Bike Beast. You know, just with him. You know.
Yeah.
So, when you sent me your picture, you know, I always have the same kind of theme. So the reason that I made that for you is that's the cover art for the show then too. So when I post it, you know, when I do the post like production of this. When it goes on Spotify, so when you're scrolling through the episodes, the purple ones are for Twitch affiliates and the black ones are for athletes. You know what I mean? So you can see which ones are which when you're scrolling through the episodes. For you, I didn't know which one to put, because you're an athlete and you're a Twitcher. You see what I'm saying? So when you sent me your picture, though, it's the picture of you with your bike, and I'm like, holy cow. Wilson with a bike outside. This is different. So
you know,
I want to learn about
I took that I don't have one. I took that as a photo shoot, dude.
Come on,
I
really?
literally took that as yes, I took that as a photo shoot. Like, look at the kit. It's freaking spotless. You know what I mean?
Hey man, whatever. Photoshop is a real deal, man. I don't know.
Yeah. No, actually, that was from one of my photo shoots, and it was for Instagram. I never actually posted it. That was the thing. You got the first dibs on it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Internet never even saw it. You know what I mean? Wow. I was gonna make it my closing scene. I might have to do that now because I don't want you to steal it.
This, man.
Yeah. Right. All right.
Wow. So you don't. Okay. So I mean, that's what I really want to learn about is your cycling past. Let's dive into that a little bit. Like how long have you been cycling and all that kind of stuff?
Let's see. In college, I bought a hybrid bike. Okay. Went to school with it for commuting because bus fare was freaking an arm and a leg. Like, I'm in San Francisco. If you don't, anybody that's listening, they have good public transportation, but it's really, really like, unless you're made out of gold, even that sucks because you have to like take an hour to get anywhere. Whereas if you took the bike, it takes like 15, 20 minutes to get to the exact same place. And you get exercise.
I heard San Francisco's crazy expensive.
Yeah, it is. And so that's how I got into cycling. Like, it was more of a commute to school and back, and then not wanting to wait on the bus, not wanting to wait. Like, I mean, there's just all sorts of stuff, right? And then I just lock it up and then go into class. I don't have to find parking. I don't have to drive. I don't have to wait for the bus to stop at every single, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then after that, bike got stolen, and then I ran to school. Like, you will never believe. I don't think you would believe this if I told you. And it's like a half an hour run. Wow. It's just a few miles, not very long. But I was a slow runner. But then I also had all my textbooks in my backpack, so that's what weighed me down. Yeah, I had a textbook in my laptop, and then I just like, okay, let's go, and then go and then come back, and then after that, you know what I mean? Like cycling wasn't a sport to me. It was more of it was a mode of transportation for me first and foremost. And then I went, because like I tell people, I come from the gym. I didn't come from a cycling background. I didn't know what watts were. I didn't know what a power meter was.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this stuff. I was like, there's a handlebar and then you just pedal. I was always matching my gears.
You sound like, that's the exact same background that I had too. I mean, I just discovered cycling like 4 years ago, and we're the same age. So, no, I'm older now.
Hey.
But that's my same background too. So that's interesting. See, I would have thought that you've been cycling intensely like your whole life, because you kill it, man. Like you're really good.
No, I got a long ways to go. Like I said, like my FTP right now stuck. I'm just working really hard. Life gets in the way, and you guys got all this stuff, around you, and you just try to get your right. And that's the same thing with Zwift. It's like, it's just here. You just go over there, do your thing, and then you're done, right? You don't have to worry about anything. So that's how I got into that.
That's cool, man. That's a cool story. I didn't know that. I thought, like I said, I thought that you've been doing it a long time. So wow.
Nope.
That's impressive.
Nope.
My vision for Zwift is like, as a triathlete, my vision is like, because me and my fiance are talking about buying a house, and if I could like have a room in the house where the setup would be Zwift for my bike, and then maybe a treadmill next to it, and then like weights in the back, so I could have like a workout room. That would be pretty cool, because I'd love to, because I run a ton too, and to engage, because again, you're just like cycling, it's a lot more fun when you're with people and you're engaging and you're talking. Running's the same way for me. It'd be so much fun if I was in a treadmill and like doing sprints, same kind of stuff that you do on Zwift, cycling, but running, so that's my vision for that. I think that'd be pretty cool. But kind of like what you got with the rower, right? You got the new rower, right?
Hey, it's right over there.
Yeah, I can see it. Hey,
I was trying to hide it the other day, and I think Ray found it, and I was like, "Oh God, here we go!" And it made me do it.
That's gonna be a part of the streams for sure, right?
Yeah, pretty soon. I think they're working on Zwift is working on rowing. That's what I thought. I was like, dude, I gave him like $1 million ideas. I'm like, look, there's your new triathlete. You got a rower.
Yeah.
You go on the bike. You go on the treadmill. You're done.
You know what I was thinking about would be really cool once things get back to, whatever the hell normal is going to be moving forward. But
right.
You know, it would be really cool if all of us that stream Zwift, or at least engage in Zwift, like had some kind of representation at the next TwitchCon. That'd be pretty cool.
It wouldn't. Like I said, it wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past us to be able to do that, because we have Reginerd. He's a Zwifter, and I think he works for Twitch. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Get him on here, dude. Get him on here.
That's sweet. Yeah, that'd be
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd be cool. I was thinking about that though. It's because I think the sky's the limit for Zwift and Twitch. I mean, the potential. It's so much fun because you're seeing people actually. It's real time racing and exercising, and it's fun to watch. I think the app is great. I mean, the program, whatever you want to call it, the game, whatever. But it's just so engaging and fun, and it's cool to see. Like you could, like you said, you got a long way to go. Well, you'll never get to you'll never sit back and be like, all right, I made it. You know what I mean? Like you're always going to want to get better.
There's always improvement, right? There's always improvement, just like any other sport. And I feel also that since it's such like, especially in the United States, maybe not so much like Europe, because they blew up when COVID started. They had like 30,000, registered users, I think, for like April. But yeah, they had a lot. And then I think in the United States, it's really good because we, as a country, we're not the most healthiest. You know what I mean? We might be okay in other areas, but I think obesity rate would drop. I think it's also good as a sport, maybe like an e-sport for schools, because a lot of schools now have computer games as like scholarships. That blew my mind, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Blew my mind. So I think that should be in there, is that Zwift should make a bike, or there should be some sort of regulation, and then they could do that.
Yeah, I mean, you see what...
Like you said, sky's the limit.
Yeah, what the Tour de France did, and
right.
Even now, USA Triathlon is doing
Right.
virtual races basically every weekend, and they're
Right.
having their top athletes compete like head to head. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so obviously they're in separate places, but everything's done, you know, electronically through the esports. And yeah, it's cool, man. Esports is just
It's
where
gonna
it
blow.
is.
It's blowing up. Yeah.
Oh my
It's.
God, it's
I mean, with COVID especially, I think it's gonna make it even better. And that's like I said, I think I kind of credit my sort of like the community to that as well, because more people came in, because there was like a really weird, it was a really weird, I don't even know how to explain it. It was really interesting. It went from January to March to like about April, and I had literally like nothing. And then from April on, it just all of a sudden it just, and I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, and that's for me. I saw some quote somewhere, and it was like, if you come out of the quarantine not having developed a new skill, or not pursued some new business, or not pursued some new hobby, you're never gonna go anywhere. Like, this was the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had nowhere to go. You had nothing to do, and that's where. For me, I was like sitting around and I'm like, all right, I want to try something out new. And that's where the comedy clubs shut down. You know, they started to open up and then they shut down again. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to sit around and wait until everything opens up again. I want to get into,
Right.
Let's put all my efforts towards Twitch and building a community there and being a part of that. And like you said, you can feel the momentum. You can feel it growing day by day. And what's crazy, I was going to tell you, I live in Frisco, Texas, so it's just north of Dallas. It's a part of Dallas, basically. And I work out at the Cowboys practice facility. It's in Frisco. And Jerry Jones basically built a city like for the practice facility. It's insane. But he also bought Complexity. So that's an esports like brand. So at the Cowboys practice facility is a esports training facility as well. And I still don't really even know much about it, but it's like the elite of the elite of the elite gamers there. And they have huge well, not now, but when things are normal, they have huge tournaments, and there's thousands of people at these things. You know, it's wild. And I could I'm always envisioning, like, imagine if you just put like 10 bikes on stage. Do you know what I mean? And then you had a giant screen, and people could come and watch. You know what I mean? Like, that's.
Come on, dude.
You know, like,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Goldie's Zwift edition. Let's go.
You know what I mean? Like, that's exciting, because when you go to watch a real bike race, you know, like, say you go watch the Tour de France. Well, you see everyone just once. You know what I mean? And
they pass you, and it's cool, but then that's it, right?
That's it. Yeah. So that's like. I always think about that. Like, how cool would that be to have just 10 bikes on stage, you know, qualifiers leading up to it or whatever, and, you know, you just hammer out a race, and then you'd be seeing them the whole time. You know, their streams would be, I don't know. I just think that's, like I said, the sky's the limit. You can get really creative with this kind of stuff.
Right. It's just like you said, like, you could do it for collegiate level, you could do it for, you know, grade school level, and then you could go up all the way up to, you know, Cat 5 all the way up to pros.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. There's like I said, a lot of opportunities. So I think that'd be cool to do that TwitchCon thing. I bet we could put that together. That'd be fun. And it'd be nice to meet everyone in person. You know, you spend hours and hours and hours with people you've never met before. You know, so I think that'd be cool to meet everyone in person as well.
Right.
So what's your favorite game of all time? If you, I know it's a tough question out of left field.
That's a horrible question, man.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
You're putting me on the spot. I do think, you know. I do think it's Deus Ex 1. It has to be.
What is it?
It's either that one, Deus Ex, the one that I just played. I played I'd say about a month ago. I finished it. The first one, the graphics aren't that good, but the storyline, man. Excuse me. It's the storyline that's why you want to have it.
What kind of game is that?
It's a first-person shooter, but it's also like action RPG in a way, because you get, like, anything that you do affects the story.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What is it, a PC game, or what's that on?
Yep.
Yeah, PC. I've been playing a lot of. I love the Switch. Like, I think they nailed it with that.
They
console.
did.
I love it.
Nintendo has nailed. I think they've done pretty good with any console that they had. They had the DS, the handheld, that went pretty well.
I never had the DS or the Wii U. Those are the two that.
Yep, the Wii, right? I had the Wii.
I had the
That
Wii,
was
I
pretty
didn't have the
cool.
Wii
At the
U.
time, it was really cool.
I still play it all the time. Yeah, Wii Bowling. That's legendary.
Yeah.
Man. I love that game.
Yeah. That's like the best get together. You know what I mean? Like, hey, everybody just get together. We play some tennis or boxing or whatever.
Yeah, man, those were fun.
Right? Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of. I just beat Pokemon Sword. I like those kind of games. I played Pokemon Sword.
Okay. That's one where it's like I just got the original and I'm good, man.
Yeah,
there's too many of them.
I jumped in. I haven't played Pokemon in years. So Pokemon Sword was the first game I played, like that franchise, since I was a kid, and I can't keep up with the freaking Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
There's like 5 million of them. What happened to the 150
Somebody-
that were the original?
Somebody told me there was a Charmander and it was like a monkey. I forgot what it's called now, but I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And they told me, and then they showed it to me. I'm like, oh, I thought they were joking.
Yeah, they
It's
got
really
crazy.
a monkey.
They got crazy
Yeah.
with them. It's still fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. But,
Yeah, right.
There's like 3 songs in the game, and when I'm playing it, my fiance, she'll be in the other room or she'll be, in the shower or whatever, and she just hears these. Right. Like the same music, and she just goes, "Put it on mute!" Like she just gets like to a boiling point where she's like, "I can't do it." So I play a lot of that, and I like any of the Mario games. Mario Kart 8 for the Switch is fun. I like Mario
Right.
Party. I've been playing Paper Mario. That's the stream that you rated. I was doing that the other day.
Mario Party was like middle school too, middle school, high school.
GameCube.
That's like
GameCube
right.
Mario
And,
Party. That was
yeah, that was the era of like LAN parties and friends and get together, and then you got the split screen, you got GoldenEye, and
N64,
you're looking on other people's screens to see what
Yep.
where they're at.
Do you crap, what was I just gonna ask you? Oh, High Score on Netflix. Have you seen that yet?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't have TV. I don't watch Netflix. I barely watch YouTube.
Okay.
If I'm not training, I'm sleeping. If I'm not sleeping, I'm eating. And if I'm not doing either one of those, I don't know where I'm at. You'd probably find me somewhere in a ditch.
And you're eating burritos, right?
Yeah, eating burritos. Burrito Brothers.
High Score is an awesome documentary on Netflix. I don't have TV either. I just have Netflix. And basically, I just own Netflix to watch reruns of The Office and Parks and Rec to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But High Score is really cool. But if you don't have it, find a friend who has it and watch it. It's awesome.
Right. I'll have to borrow somebody's account.
It's the history of video games, and it's like all the stuff that you're talking about is like the reasoning why. Like they're talking to the creators of Pac-Man, and like they made Pac-Man to include women because all the games at the time were most, predominantly male driven. So
Right.
Pac-Man, they made like a cute guy, a cute little chompy guy. It was interesting.
Right.
It's really cool.
Right.
So outside of like cycling and stuff like that, what do you do for work?
I am a personal trainer. I do massage therapy as well. And as of right now, it is hard to find work because you know what I mean. Like there was a time I think about 2-3 weeks, no, about a month ago. They they had the quarantine, and then they had everybody shut off, and then they open it again, and then they like shut off everybody again. You know what I mean?
California, right?
Yeah, California.
Yeah, that's
Because we're strict here. We're really, really strict here.
yeah, we're basically the exact opposite in Texas. It's
So you're saying I should move?
come on, baby, Hey,
Let's
everyone else
go.
in California is moving to Texas, so why not you too?
That's right, dude.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, our gym is we opened May 1st, and for a week we had to wear masks and gloves, and then they got rid of the glove rule, and then
Right.
so I go to the gym every morning. Personal training and everything I know a lot of them. Actually, I had one of the trainers on the show. He plays for the Cayman Islands national soccer team. I'm itching my foot, that's why I'm leaning over. Hey, we got a hot mic. But yeah, so everything pretty much opened up, and we still have to wear masks when we work out. But yeah,
Right.
that's tough, man. Is there how's it been during this whole thing? I mean, can you virtually train people, or are you through a gym?
Yeah, I'm through a gym. But then I also do, honestly, at this point, they're just like, hey, we're cool if you just like like if you want to do your own thing and it makes you more, we're cool with that. You know what I mean? Because like you said, and that's part of what I was thinking. I was like, man, if I could get something set up in my own home, I kind of want to do take a little bit out of the fitness and channel or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that'd be kind of like a conjunction to Zwift. Like some days I'll be lifting and then maybe get some of that crowd in and then show them what Zwift is, or then same thing with Zwift, show them how you know what I mean? Because like I said, I came from the gym. I didn't come from a bike, and I love cross training. But during COVID, since the gyms were closed, and I don't have right now, I don't have a power rack or anything, right? So all I did was Zwift, like literally from January to about, I want to say May or so, I was lifting like 6 or 7 times a week, every day basically.
And good luck finding weight equipment now. I mean, it's try to buy
arm and a leg.
Come on, it's impossible.
No, impossible.
Yeah. So you that's pretty wild. So have you streamed anything on the what is it, Sports and Fitness, I think is the channel, right? Like on Twitch?
Yeah, they changed it. It used to be like fitness, and it used to be something called something else, and then they changed it. No, I have not. You know, that was actually a funny story. One time I was like, you know what? Zwift has like nobody here. And my brain, I was like, let me pull people from fitness and health over to our category so that we have more exposure. Like that was my brain thinking, like in a macro scale, right? And then I went over there, and everybody that was a Zwifter, they came into my channel. They're like, "Yo, yeah, this isn't a Zwift, right? You need to update your description and all this." I'm like, man, we are die hard when it comes to a community. Like you can't mess with us, dude. You can't mess with us.
I love it. That's what, like I told you, I noticed first thing is, people are supportive, and, the Grinch Dwarf was the first person that ever watched me. And I don't really know anything about them.
Right.
Yeah, and they came in, and my stream was like, it was basically from like the angle that you see now. Like, I was the side, I was like, it was grainy. I was on my old laptop, and it was horrible. But, they came in and they were like giving me advice and like, hey, turn the music down a little bit. We can't hear you, maybe get a microphone, so on and so forth. And they still come in today. They still come into my streams. And just on Saturday or Friday, I think it was, they said, I can't believe how much better your stream's gotten from when you started, and it's this sense of community, man, that I really is just awesome, especially as with everything that's going on, having that sense of community just makes it, you look forward to getting on and hanging out with people and talking to them.
Yeah, I think the most craziest and like the most wholesome feeling you'll ever get is if you stream like maybe like say your first month of streaming, right? Like you're saying, Grinch Dork, and that person or whoever it is, that person comes back 6 months or 9 months down the line or 8 months down the line, and then they say that's what like really like blows my mind, right? Because you're like, man, I came like from a long way. Yep. Like I had the same story as you. I was streaming on a laptop. The laptop would freeze. I would lose my progress on Zwift. I would, people would type things and I can't see it. It was horrible. And then to have that person come back from watching that to watching what they watch now, they're like, man, I remember, all this. I was like, man, that was a long time ago.
Me and you kind of have a similar timeline, because I remember I was on the fence about buying a laptop, and then you got yours, and I saw how much better that made your stream, and I was like, I got to pull the trigger now. Like that's
right.
It was a tangible, like, you went from this to this. I mean, that was like a quantum
night and day.
Yeah. It really was. Before I started, in 6 months, the arms will be huge.
I'm reading the comments. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is great.
So when quarantine hit here, I mean everywhere, I went out and I got just a crappy laptop. I didn't even have a laptop when this started. I had a Microsoft Surface from like 5 years ago. So I got like a $250 crappy laptop, and I started streaming on that. And obviously Zwift couldn't, I mean, it was just taking over the computer.
Right, you're right.
That. And then I was starting to look at them, and I'm like, if I get this laptop, I got to go all in on Zwift, and you know what I mean, like all
Right.
in on Twitch and Zwift, and you know what I mean. And I'm like, I don't know, let me get a feel for it. And then I got into your channel, and I started getting into the the whole world, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely something I want to be a part of. So, the rest is history. I don't even know what the hell I have. It's an HP gaming pavilion, maybe. I don't know.
I didn't know what I had either. Like I said, I keep saying it, and you'll hear me say it like a broken record. But I credit everything that I've done today on Zwift to the people that are watching.
Yep.
Like they might not think it and they might not realize it, but they basically have been the ones that kind of pull me through every workout. They pulled me through every stream. Some like I think it was yesterday. Or no, it wasn't yesterday. It was Friday. Oh my gosh, it was you have those days where it's just like you don't even want to be there, right? You don't, but you got to put on that face, and that's part of streaming as well. You got to treat it like it's your job. And a lot of people, they have this they have this disconnect, and they don't do that. They make it as a hobby. Right. You gotta differentiate what you want to be. Like if you want to be the best, you have to do it like you mean it.
Yep.
If you don't, then don't, like it is what it is, then don't worry about it, right? But if you want to be the best, I don't know how many hours, I spent more hours offline researching how to make my stream the way it is now than actually, like the biking part is easy, comparatively speaking, right?
Yep.
I mean,
No, that's right.
So,
that's exactly. I mean, learning how to add the elements and extensions, and I mean even okay. So I have a question for you actually. Mm-hmm. Your chat on your stream, how did you get that?
It's gone through so many iterations that I'm not sure which one are you talking about. Are you talking about today, or are you talking about like 2 days ago? Because it was different 2 days ago.
Let's just say the most. So I'll tell you. Okay, so this is what I have trouble with.
Right.
You have like the native, like you can just go into the settings in Twitch and adjust the font or like the style. Mm-hmm. Yours though, it's like kind of like a theme. It looks like. Do you know what I mean? Like it's. How did you get that without changing? Like, is there a way to not change everything and just get the chat box, or no?
Yes, there is. You could go into different overlays. So they're called overlays. You can get them either on Stream Elements, Streamlab, basically any website that you go through for overlays. They have like a chat box, like a format, and then you're like, oh, that one looks good, or oh, that one looks good, and then you insert that into the actual Twitch chat, and then that
Gotcha.
becomes what it is versus what you normally see from what you're saying.
That's my next move, because yours looks good, man. And you know what I did is I find ways around things. So what I did is, because I wanted to stick with like the black and gold kind of theme. So what I did is I put I have like the outbox, the outer edge, and then I just I used Bing. I binged black, and then I copy and pasted a black box. So the text is on top of that black box, so it's easier to read for me. Do you know what I mean? Because the gold writing on the Zwift background is hard to see. It's
hard to see. Yep. Yep.
So
a lot of it's tweaking. Yeah, a lot of it's tweaking. A lot of it's offline. You know what I mean? Like what you do offline is more important than what you do online.
I agree with that, and I'm learning that.
I mean,
sure. Yep.
It's the same with recovery in sports. It's the same. I mean, I try to practice what I preach. I'm bad at the recovery part, but you know what I mean? Yeah, we're kind of. I think all of us, relate to the fact that you just gotta be prepared, and it's hard to be 100% every single day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we try our best.
But showing up and putting on the face is what you got to do. And
fake it till you make it, baby.
Till you make it, baby. That's right. So what's streaming software do you use?
I started with Streamlabs OBS, and that was really easy to use. I mean, they're both easy. It just depends on what you start with. And then when I went over to OBS, it was a little bit tricky to migrate over because like you're so used to certain things, and then they're not there anymore, or they're somewhere else. Right. And so that took me like a week to like orient myself, and then afterwards now I use OBS.
Gotcha. Yeah, I use Streamlabs OBS, and I pay for the Prime or whatever, because I like the idea of that website, so a lot of my friends or people who, want to watch the show don't have Twitch, so it's a way for them, you know what I mean, they could just go to the website.
Yeah, to go straight to it, right?
Yeah,
that's cool.
And like for me, I'm trying to be an ambassador for Zwift as well, so it's a good way to get eyeballs on it, you know what I mean, and to see, because like I have some of my friends, like I'll be doing like the FTP test I did last Saturday. I was telling my friends about it and kind of like, hey, hop on and encourage me, you know what I mean? Or check it out, and hopefully, it kind of gets that, like you said, when you go into sports and fitness and try to pull people in. I'm always trying to like pull people in to show them what it's like, 'cause it's fun, and I'm always trying to be entertaining,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another aspect of streaming is that you've actually mentioned two good points. To be successful, or at least to draw people to you, you have to be either really good at what you're doing. Like if you're a Swiftie or if you're a gamer, you got to be good, like top tier, right?
Yeah.
Like or you got to be entertaining.
Yeah.
The perfect combination is that you're both. The problem is that I'm neither, and I'm trying to work at both of them.
Me too, brother.
So it's a struggle sometimes. But those are the two things that are key ingredients to me for success in streaming.
No, I completely agree with that, man. I think the way my channel's gonna go now is I just got word. So I compete for Team USA at the age group level. So what that means is like, you basically go to the national. You have to win a race in your area, in your age group, and then you get invited to the national championship. And you have to be within a certain like percentage of the top time in the country. You go to the national championships, and then they take the top 18 in the country in your age group to the world championships. So actually, the world championships was supposed to be yesterday in Edmonton, which obviously got canceled, so that sucks.
Right.
But the national championship is usually in November in Tempe, Arizona, and so I went in November to Tempe, and I came in 8th place, so I qualified. But
oh, nice.
Yeah, but
congrats, dude.
Thanks. But obviously it got canceled this year. So what they're doing now is next year is in Bermuda, which I really, really want to go to. And,
ooh, that'd be cool.
Oh hell yeah! And
yeah, that'd be totally cool.
The national championship just got moved officially to April 9th. So now, basically, like everything on my stream now is training, geared for April 9th.
You're right.
To hopefully qualify. So that's gonna kind of be my angle, on my channel is the journey. Come help me train. You know what I mean? Come hang out with me while I try to compete for Team USA again. So,
right.
That leads me to. Do you ever think about doing any like races outside? Like crit racing or any type of cycling events or anything?
Oh my gosh, I'm probably not crit racing. See, I'm a weird kind of guy. I'm more of like anytime I do sports, and any sports that I've gone into have mainly been sort of like. How do you say that? Kind of like a solo effort, if you will. Like it has nothing to do with nobody else. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's the same. It's the same. Like you'll see in my Zwift, my theme is that when I sometimes race, but not as much as doing workouts and not as much as like improving myself. I feel like my philosophy on sports is that as long as you're improving yourself, you're gonna. I mean, it's like you don't have to beat anybody to prove anything, but it's like if you wanted to beat somebody, if you keep training over and over, sooner or later you're probably gonna beat that person unless they're like Chris Froome. You know what I mean? Like you have to have that mentality of like personal gain. I feel like that's my opinion. Yeah, I'm an intrinsic kind.
I'm the exact
kind
opposite. Of guy. I am like ultimately competitive, and I have to compete at everything that I do, and I don't know why I'm that way, but I am. That's why, that's why I found triathlon, because I played semi-pro and professional indoor football in my 20s. So that's why I was like, once my career was over, I was like, I gotta keep competing. You know what I mean? I just gotta find something, And it was a video game. It was Grand Theft Auto 5 that actually has a triathlon in it. And that's what
What?
gave me the idea to get into triathlon. Yeah.
No way.
Pretty wild, right? So I have this.
Never played the game. That's why I was like, there's a triathlon and
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and you do 3 triathlons and you have to win them, and then you qualify.
Oh, that's
for,
interesting.
Like, Ironman, and so it's
Yeah.
literally like a half-hour race in Grand Theft Auto
Wow.
of just hitting X, like swimming.
Yeah, you just go, oh my
And it
gosh.
was in that time that I was like, I should do this. This is something that I can see myself doing. The rest is history. So I have a pretty unique relationship with video games too, just because it's like I was an only child, and always playing video games. Growing up, in downtime, and like you said, I think our generation, people our age, I think we have a pretty unique relationship with video games too, because
Oh, for sure.
we grew up, with Atari and Nintendo, and then look where they're at now.
We
What I mean?
went from 8-bit to 64-bit to right now it's like real. It's like I was playing Witcher, and the first thing I said to everybody, I'm like, this looks better than real life.
It's hard to
it's like
it's hard to sometimes
it's like
differentiate, especially like the esports and stuff. Like they'll have it on, and I'm like, I don't know if this is real or not. I what am I watching here? Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
So I
It's
think
crazy.
our generation does have that unique. We grew up.
It does.
Same thing with like cell
No, you're
phones.
right.
We grew up without them, so we don't necessarily need them. It's,
Yep.
I think we have a good balance. The younger kids, man, they're nuts. Like they're just.
No,
Oh, it's crazy.
man. Yeah, don't jump in that rabbit hole. We're gonna be here forever. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
we went from. I didn't get a smartphone until basically until I demanded it. Like school demanded it, right? Like or your job. Like I grew up from a family where we didn't get. The only reason we had a smartphone or a phone, even a flip phone, I had a flip phone for way longer than my smartphone. Like from basically my 20s on, like 16 to 20s, like
Wow.
right.
I miss flip
And they
phones.
went.
Great.
No, and yeah, the battery life was amazing. But the reason why I had it wasn't because of my convenience. It was because my parents needed to know where I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like that's how it is. Like they're calling, you're like, the hell are you? Like,
That's what my mom was always like. I'll pay your phone bill as long as you call me. That's the rule. I'm like, all right. I'm not gonna argue
Yep.
with that, right?
hey, yeah.
But yeah, it's that relationship with technology. I think we've had a pretty unique, at our age. So I feel bad for for people that like older people that are just trying to figure this out. Because like for OBS, like Streamline,
Oh,
for instance,
man.
like I had no experience with this stuff, but I know enough about technology to work my way through.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Some older people are just scared and confused by all this stuff.
Right. They get they legitimately get intimidated because one example is my parents.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying they're old, but like you know what I mean.
Send it
But
on the internet.
yeah, no, I'm like, oh, mom. But when they ask you for something, they legitly don't know. And then when you know, your brain is like, well, this is so easy. Why don't you figure this out? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're like, it's just a right click here and a click there.
Just
But they
simple
don't
things
know.
like closing out a window. Like they don't even know how to, that kind of stuff.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's like it's that X right there, but I don't know what's the difference between an X and a minimize and a max. You know what I mean? Like
My
it's
fiance's
interesting.
nephew just graduated from kindergarten or nursery, one of those, and they did it via Zoom. My God!
Wow.
The calling because they're back in Buffalo, New York, where we're from, and
Right.
listening to my fiance try to explain how Zoom works to her parents.
Yeah.
It was like nails on a blackboard. It was just like
Yeah, it's like
kids
rocket
are
science, right?
Yeah, it's
They're like, what?
it was wild. I'm like, oh my God, you have a lot more patience than I do. I'd just be like, you're missing the kid's graduation. I can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do it for my parents, just like you're saying. Like they're like, oh, I don't even know how to do this. Well, how do you do this? And I'm like, okay, it's easier for you to do it, even though it takes more time than it is for you to teach them because they literally won't understand.
No, that's right, man. That's right.
I mean,
So I got a question for you too. Is I've always wondered this about how other people, because like we were talking about in terms of like different Zwifters use their channels in different ways. Like for me, I'm using it for training, so I'm not doing any races really. Never. I've never done a race.
right? You haven't done a race in Zwift?
Never.
No.
Yeah, I've never done
We're
one.
gonna change this.
Yeah.
All right, where's the chat? We're gonna change this.
We'll do one. I was thinking about maybe doing one this week. You know what I mean? Before I
Okay.
really dive into like, a training plan.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I'm using it for kind of that, entertaining, trying to be funny
Right.
and
Right.
working my way through the workouts, and that's why I always like to have them on the left so people can see, what is coming up, whatever. That's my angle. For you, how do you decide what workouts you're going to do? Or is there a method to your madness? Do you like sit down? You know what I mean?
Oh man, I about died laughing.
Yeah, don't
Okay,
choke,
hold on.
man. I don't want you to die in the show, man. That wouldn't be good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so at the very beginning, so this was weird. Like I said, between like January and March, like those 3 months, I didn't know what I was doing. Like my first viewers were Marcus, Graham, Pam, Lev, and they would just cheer me on. Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Cool guy, dude.
Yeah.
And Graham, like, so they all had different goals, right? Like Pimp was he's a skater, outside skater. Marcus he was just training. At the time he was just training for whatever, like he just wanted to ride. And then Grim was like a triathlete. He competed. He had a lot of structure. And I was torn in different ways. I saw different avenues that I could go with this. And I said, well, what do I want to do? I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I just started writing, and then I looked at it from, like you're saying, the entertainment point of view, and I started making the channel points, and then I started making like looking at what the bots can do, doing different things. And it honestly, Zwift was more of just to push what I thought I couldn't do. Like never in the history of my life did I think I was gonna sit on that bike for more than 1 hour.
Yeah.
Ever.
I know. I can. But yeah, when like on a Saturday when I'm doing like 3-4 hours on the bike, exactly what you're saying, man. I never envisioned myself doing that either. So, but it's that idea of being on a stream and like people watching you. You don't want to you can't fail. It's not that you don't want to fail. You just simply can't. You know what I mean? You're there. They're watching you. They're giving you their time, and you got you just put your head down. So that's okay. Interesting. So you decided that you wanted to be the entertaining. Obviously push yourself. So workouts wise, how do you decide what you're going to do on a daily basis?
Usually, so my schedule is from Monday through Friday. It used to be, like I said, I stream 6 or 7 times a week. So it was just Monday through Sunday. I skipped the Saturday because I have work. And then it would be either something, it would be like alternating, like something easy, and then maybe like a workout or a race, and then something easy, and then maybe a long ride. Like there at the time there was a method to the madness, because I read Joe Frail. He's author of the Cycling Bible. He knows he knows a lot about cycling and he's a coach.
Okay.
And that's where I borrowed a lot of training principles from, because like I said, I came into this as basically almost as like a gym rat, like a bodybuilder. I came in from pure gym, and the only thing I ever did with a bike related was spin class. And you know what they did, right? They're like, oh, do push-ups and then do this and then do that. Like it was nothing like this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so after that, then Grim was like, hey, here's an incinerator, try that. And then I was like, wow, that opened you up to like the realm of working out for cardio. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's the same with lifting weights. You go into the gym, you can just kind of lift weights and do whatever. Right. But then there are like, okay, sets of this, and then you superset and you do that. Like, right? There's a
hypertrophy and
right, hypertrophy, and you got muscular strength, you got endurance, you have power lifting, you have Olympic lifting. There's all sorts of specialties. So yeah, I just went with it.
That's awesome, man. I mean, when we were watching you analyze the race, you were knowledgeable, man. Like you could have fooled me that haven't been doing this that long. You know what you're talking about. For me, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, man. Like I'm literally just like redlining. I'm just putting my head down and going to second. Like there's no like. That's what I find so interesting about the racing and stuff. That's why I'm excited to do my first race, because I want to put it out there and be like, hey, come help me. Come tell me when to push it, when to, because all the things that you were saying, I'm like, not one of those things that you're talking about would ever cross my mind if I was doing a race. So I'm like, man, I got.
Well, in a race, well, that's the thing. Is in a race is different because, like I said, like for me, it's like I get really emotionally invested in it. So it's like sometimes my brain doesn't work either. I'm like, oh wait, I was supposed to do this and I didn't, like, or I did this, and you know what I mean? Like you're always constantly learning.
You know what you're doing. It's impressive. It definitely is. So do you have any big races coming up that you plan on, or anything you're looking forward to?
No,
or anything?
No. Honestly, my goal, the goal that I set out for was accomplished already. Like my goal was the Everesting.
I don't know what that is. So.
And then, okay, so for people, if you don't know what the Everesting, it's a virtual Everesting, or most people do it outside too. You ride enough for elevation to equal climbing Mount Everest.
Oh damn! Okay.
Which is the tallest, point on Earth, and so that's 8,848 meters. I don't know what that is in feet. I'm sorry. It's a lot. It's a lot in feet.
It's a lot of meters too. So
exactly. And so if you've ever done like in Zwift, if you've ever done an Alp, that's basically like almost 9 of them.
Oh damn. Okay.
If you yeah. And so just to give you like a ballpark range, like most like a random person would take 12 plus hours to do it, right? And so I was like, okay, if I can do this, if I can just sit on my butt and knock this out, which takes basically your whole day, right? You have to plan. You plan your nutrition, you plan your mental the night before, which is funny because both of my really endurance events, my long ones, I didn't sleep. I slept like 4 hours. I was so nervous.
That's crazy.
I mean,
so you've done 12 hours in a row.
No, so that one was, I believe that one was 12:30 something.
Jeez. What do you mean
for that one?
Like what was your nutrition like that day?
So the funny thing is, like I said, on my stream, I set up a food table. I had 2 webcams. I had I didn't even have another webcam, so I used the laptop webcam, and you know how crappy those are, right? The grainy, you know what I'm talking about. So I had the grainy laptop cam going. I had the webcam pointing towards the food table, and every hour, at that time, I asked the chat, I was like, okay, what do I eat? Like on this table, what do I eat? You guys tell me, right? And then it's like, oh, banana. Oh, this. Oh, that. When?
Yeah.
April, mid-April.
I think that may have been one of the first streams that I watched, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. I remember, like, what is going on here? I have like
nobody.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Nobody knew what was going on. And in fact, like I said, even I didn't know what was going on because I didn't know what to expect. Like like I said, I've never done this before, and I never.
Sometimes it's good if you don't know what to expect because you just go in.
You psych yourself out.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So keep going. Sorry.
So that was part of it. I believe how we even got into that to begin with was on Facebook. It was like a monthly, like the month of April was like Everesting or something. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And then everybody else, like Marcus did it. Marcus told me, he's like, hey, you should do an Everesting. I said, what is that? And he told me the same thing like this. And he's like, well, I'm going to do it. Like, he's like, well, if I do it, will you do it? I was like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, I'll just egg you on, right? So I was like, oh, fine, I'll do it then. And everybody on Twitch, actually, all the Zwifters did it. Like, I think there was maybe 5 or 6 people, they streamed it. Some people did it, some people couldn't. Some people got like, I think 10 hours in or so, or like, almost there, and then they just couldn't do it.
Oh, could you imagine getting that far in?
No, there was a person really, really close, like literally, like probably, I want to say maybe another hour or so, they probably could have gotten it.
Oh my God. Is there a course that you do, like, that's on Zwift, or?
Most people do the Alps. Some people have done it on the Ventoux, the Paris, the climb. Some people, Marcus did it on the Epic Reverse. You can do it on any climb. It just depends on how much rest you want. But optimally, I think Alp is good for anybody that wants to try it, from the beginning.
So if you do Alp, you climb it, get to the top, and then do you ride all the way down, or do you just start a new ride?
You ride all the way down. So you turn back around, you make a U-turn, you go down, and so with that, you get about 10 to 12 minutes of breaks. And so that's when you get off your bike, get a drink, go, go into your bathroom mirror and start talking to yourself, giving yourself the pep talk, like, okay, 1 down, 7, you know what I mean? Like something like that. Or some people like, I showered on one of them. I was like, I got 10 minutes of shower. Okay. You just got to plan it all. You know what I mean? It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of nutrition. Every hour you got to make sure you eat the right amount, and if you don't, you're gonna severely bonk about halfway in. Yeah.
So you're talking. Okay, that's interesting. So when you make that U-turn, you start going down the Alp. You just get off the bike because
it's coasting.
That's interesting.
But, yeah, it's like, well, are you cheating? Yeah, you know, like technically, yes, you're cheating because like in real life, you would have to be on the bike to go down a hill, right? But at the same time, man.
Yeah, that's that. You ever see the Iron Cowboy? Do you know about
that
guy? So he did. It was a documentary they did. He did 50 Ironmans. However you say it, in 50 days, in 50 states.
50 states? That's like Dean Karnazes.
So
Dean Karnazes did marathons with that.
Yeah, so he did Ironmans. So he did 2 point whatever mile swim, 112 mile bike, and
bike ride, and then running.
And
oh my
It
gosh.
was Hawaii. He started Hawaii, Alaska, and then he went, Washington, Oregon, then.
Right, you just kind of go up and around, right.
So what the point of that though is he started having some real issues, and he did a marathon on an elliptical, and people were like, "Oh, he's cheating."
Yeah.
Like that's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're
Come
losing
on,
the
dude.
spirit of what this is. Do you know what I mean? So that's
Right. It's not about the technicalities. It's about you're grinding and you're trying to really,
Let's see you get in an elliptical and do a marathon.
Yeah,
and
exactly. You do one then. Yeah. It's like,
so that's,
dude.
like when you say, cheating, like on the bike, I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. So maybe
Right.
do that. You're motivating me here, man. You're motivating.
Hey, man. Do a half Everest, which is 4,400 something, and then do a full if you.
I'm gonna do a full. I don't. I just go.
You just go. So you're the type of guy. Yeah, you're the type of guy that's like, it's either all or nothing.
The day after, so I had Pimp on the show too, and we were talking about his skating, and the next day I went out and I did a marathon on my rollerblades. So
no way.
Yeah. So I'm that kind of person. I'm just like, you put an idea in my head, and I'm just gonna do it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. You know why? Because I had my trump card, dude. I still have an ace in the hole. Because after that, everybody's like, hey, you already did Everest. Why don't you do the Marianas Trench?
Okay. I don't know that one either.
So that's the deepest part of the ocean, right? So that's 11,000 meters. So the other one was 8,000. This one's 11,000.
That's ridiculous.
So it's 3 more after the Everest.
Oh my god! So the Everest is what you said, 9 Alps?
Basically 9 Alps. Yeah, it's 8,800.
Is that a badge on Zwift? Like, is that an official?
Yeah, it's actually a badge.
So it's got to be done in one ride, obviously. Like
yes.
Maybe.
But you can take your time.
Yeah.
You can take your time.
That sounds fun, man. And it took you 12 and a half hours, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set up a day where I'm gonna do that. So.
Oh my gosh.
I got a race. Here we go. So,
hey, you do that, man. That is it's an insane personal challenge. That's why I'm saying, like, it's not a race for anybody else. I'm not trying to beat somebody's time. It's a personal journey because you know what is funny is, halfway into that race. Okay, so actually that was probably one of my most memorable moments on Zwift. Actually, even more so than the trenching. Funny enough.
Really?
Because that was when not many people knew me, and that was when do you know about the burritos? Like all the burritos that you see, the emoticon.
So I don't know
like
the reason behind it or anything like that. No.
That's the reason. That was the reason. That's where it was actually this whole like theme of burritos came from that, because they were like, "What are you eating? Why do you only have bananas?" They're like, "Go eat a burrito." And everybody at the time was just like, "Okay, let's go get him a burrito." I'm like, "I can't, like, I'm on my bike and I don't want to get off and and like, go order it." It was just such a funny day. Like I said, I will never forget it. And the best part of that day was, and this is how I know about this community thing. Like, this was like my aha moment, right? The light bulb was, I was at my worst. The fifth and sixth time going up, I was at my worst. Like I could not talk. I didn't talk. I was starting to like go down. I was starting to do this downhill spiral. I wanted to suffer in silence. And people were just pushing me. Like, you can keep going. And then out of nowhere, like one person that has been following me, they joined the ride, right? So then they're next to you. And then
that's cool. That's cool.
And then another person joined. And then another person joined.
That's cool.
And Pimp was there, and like Dirty Pirate was there, and then Grim was there, and Mark. Like it almost made me cry. I was like, because at the time I was so broken. Like you're at the worst of your worst, and you just see and you see people out of like they don't even know who I am. Like they have no reason to even care. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, this is just some dude, and they're like, you know what? We're taking this guy up to the top, and I'm like, holy cow, this is like there was a lot of energy in that.
I'll tell you, man, there are some dark, weird spots on the internet, but for every weird, bad, toxic environment, there's this.
Not here, dude. Not here, dude.
I love that. That's so freaking cool, man. I mean, I'm definitely going to be doing that now that, that's a cool story about the burritos, too. I didn't even know that. So that's a really inspiring, neat, I mean, your Discord, man, that's crazy. I don't know. How do you manage that? It's awesome.
I didn't. I remember opening it once. It was me and Etch Champion. I opened it once and I shut it off the next day. I deleted it the next day. I said, I don't think I should do this. There's no point. Like I said, what was the point? I was like, what's the point of this? They can come to our channels and talk. Yeah. And then everybody's like, well, no, we just want like a place to hang out after the stream. Yeah. All right, or just to talk about anything random. So I said, okay, you know what? Let's do this. And then I did it, and then I was like, okay, I need to figure this out. Like you said, I'm not a computer science guy. I didn't even know how to build my computer. I didn't even know how to make this computer. Everybody, like I told you, community helped me. I couldn't do any of this by myself. And lo and behold, one thing led to another. Then some people joined, and we talk about random stuff. And then you just open up. It's about creativity. I feel like, you know what I mean, and putting in the time. You have to put a lot of time into all this. It doesn't come in 2 days, right?
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who I get, like you were talking about with the Everest, right? Mm-hmm. Thinking of psyching yourself out. You didn't know what to expect. For me, I overwhelm myself if I try to look at the whole picture, and this whole process has really taught me to like, listen, you're not going to like
screw it.
Yeah. Just jump in, just figure it out. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like, just pull a shot above, man. Yep. Just do it.
Just do it. And that's what's like, I try to do one thing a day, right? I try to just add one thing. And have you ever heard of Team ODZ? Have you come across them?
Yep. They come across me. I didn't come across them. They're like, hey, he's in our Discord. Jason.
Yeah. So Jason. So me and him have actually become pretty tight. He's actually going to be coaching me. We just
wow.
Yeah.
What a privilege.
Yeah, and they have a triathlete coach as well as a part of Team USA, I think. So. I'm looking forward to, and I ride with them every Thursday morning, so that's become a part of the stream now. I do rides with them on Thursdays, and I mean, just that alone has been amazing. But the reason for the story is when they invited me to ride with them and start to become a part of their group. He's like, so what's your Discord? And I'm like, what? Like I didn't know what Discord even was. Like I never heard of it before.
Same.
Yeah, and then I opened it and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I immediately went to yours. Like I'm only following like 3 people on it. I follow you. There's another one for like talk shows and podcasts and stuff like that. And then I have mine that has no one in it. Then I have I think that's it. I think that's the only 3 that I follow. And then it's interesting though because it's interesting to see how they use it. For them, they don't really use it for chat or anything like that. They literally just use it so we can hop on and be on a mic together. So it's like the group video on Discord, and then I stream on my Twitch channel on Thursday mornings, but I'm in their group as well.
Right.
If we're all say 3 of us are doing streams and I'm hitting a really hard part, well transition over to my stream. You know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. This whole community, but Discord is like such a cool tool, and the way that you use it with the bots and everything like that. That's my next kind of big undertaking, is understanding how those bots work, because yours are set up really nice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. I'm telling you, a lot of trial and error. Everything about streaming since day one has been that way. For every good thing that you see on my stream, like you're gonna pick out something, say like, oh, stream avatars, or oh, this or oh, that. There was probably 9 other things that I failed at before I got to there.
Yeah,
I kid you not.
It makes sense, because I've tried a bunch of different stuff too, and it's
and you're just like, what?
Yeah, it's just you kind of
Trouble.
Do it as you go. Yeah, that's right. And it's funny because it's like you said on the show, or on the stream you had when you were watching VC ride, you were like, because he was complaining about his stream, and when you said, dude, go freaking look at my first stream, and I did that on, holy cow, like it's crazy, man. Like your streams have come such a long way, and there's so in my opinion, you're the standard on Zwift. Like I really do. I think. I
don't know, dude. That's giving me too much praise.
No,
I would say
so.
There's a few other people. But there's other people that are okay.
You're a lot of fun. That's the difference. Is a lot of the other guys, like, sure, they may be better cyclists, but they're not like entertainment value wise. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're engaging, you have a lot of fun stuff going on, but you're also really good. And it goes back to
it goes back to what I said, right? You either gotta get one of the two. Like, you have to be really, really good, or you have to be entertainer. But really, in reality, for Twitch and for YouTube, for all these social media, they're here because they want somebody they can relate to. Yeah. That's really that's the secret to success. It's not a secret. That's just what it is. Like, they want a friend, and if you can be their friend. And not to say that you just, what I mean? Like, you could spot somebody that's trying too hard, and then that's a little bit weird too. So you got to come, like what you're saying, come out as an organic type of, and it just develops by itself. Like I said, no way did I know a burrito emote was coming. No way did I know that my red bandana was coming. I didn't know any of that. Like, I just didn't.
What's the story behind that bandana?
There's a story for everything, man. The bandana. So first, I bought 2 bandanas at the beginning because I said, I am sweating so much. What do I do?
Yeah,
what do I do?
Yeah.
And some people have hats, rags, or whatever, towels. Doesn't matter. They just have something to absorb all the sweat because you're indoors and my fan sucks. So I bought 2 bandanas. I had a black one and a red one. Originally I was like, well, I'm just gonna use my black one because the red is a little bit, I'm gonna, like, people might think I'm some Street Fighter character or something. So right. Well, come on now, So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wear this, and then it's nonchalant, whatever. And then people are like, do you have any other color bandana? I was like, yeah, I have a red one. They're like, okay, we'll go wear that. And so I did. And I said, well, maybe I'll just wear this during my races. And then it just stuck. And then, the rest is history.
No, that's cool. And I think that's like, it's so, you're so relatable. That's why people like watching you. You know what I mean? I'll never get, like, you go on some of these streams and it's just like, a dude silently riding his bike. It's like, what is this? Like, what do we do?
Yeah, that's. I'm like, I try to support everybody in their stream, and it's like from the person that has 0 viewers to the person that has 10 or whatever, right? Like, and you see us, we rate each other and things like that. But it's like, when you see something like that, and then you genuinely go to help them, and either maybe they genuinely don't know how to read it too, like you said, like maybe they don't see it. But at the same time, it's like, if you don't have that urge to improve yourself, like you're saying, the one a day, like that's the rule, one a day. If you find one thing to improve every time on your stream, because you can, and you do it, I guarantee you it's going to amount to something 3 months down the line, 5 months down the line, because you're going to get to that breaking point.
Yep. It's hard to see.
But it's about putting the work.
I always say that. It's an annoying cliche, but it's true. I mean, it's, like you said, you go back to May 30th and look at your stream from then. Like you were well into it at that point, and you still, and then in November, look at what your streams are like now. It's cool to see, and it's cool. I'm having a lot of fun learning about all this stuff and
Yeah.
cool people like you, and it's been a really fun time. And I think, like
Yeah.
I said, it's only going to get better. I think there's more and more people are going to join, and
Definitely.
the community is going to grow, and I think the opportunity is it's awesome. So
Most definitely, dude.
I was going to ask you, when you work out, what kind of workouts do you do as far as like lifting and stuff like that?
And this is going to sound kind of funny. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have anything. My lifting career, exercise actually in general started in high school. I lived in the Midwest, and at the time I was about 110 pounds.
Damn.
Soaking wet.
Holy cow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I could not gain weight to save my life. I ate, and I was really skinny, like I still have pretty skinny, but like my arms, legs, everything, like nothing. And so I went in the gym one day. This is actually the funniest story. Well, I don't know. Take it for what you will. So I was the only Asian person in school because, like I said, in Nebraska, there's either Native Americans or Caucasian,
So
right?
you're not from San Francisco then, huh?
I was born here. We were over there for family business, and then I grew up there primarily from basically fourth grade until college.
Gotcha. Okay. What part of Nebraska?
The Panhandle, so Jadron. If anybody knows where that is, I'll freaking give them burritos.
We went to the national championship was in Omaha the one year, and there is not a lot.
I did my first half marathon in Omaha. Well,
really?
Lincoln. Yeah, and it was in the rain. The most fun run I've ever done in my life.
That's awesome.
But that's the only one I'll ever do because I hate running.
See, that's my sport. I of the three
I hate running.
triathlon, running's my favorite. I love running.
No, if I don't know how to swim, but if I knew how to swim, probably swimming or cycling. It's not running.
Yeah. See, the cycling to me, that's another reason why I got into cycling is because I figured during this time off from racing, I figured I might as well just double down in the sport that I'm the worst at. So
right, and improve it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
And so going back to Nebraska, so I grew up there. And so basically through middle school, high school, a lot of stereotypes, a lot of bullying, a lot of just, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's just people don't like they don't like difference.
Some people suck, it's just.
Yeah, but that's just what honestly, the funny thing is I don't look at it that way. I used to look at it that way. I used to have this, a lot of like negative, like anger. I had this like vengeance, like, oh man, I'm gonna get you back, for everything you said and all this, and it really like turned me into something I shouldn't do, right? And the funny thing is, like I said, we'll make it a long story shorter. One of the people that was messing with me, he stole he stole my backpack, he stole a lot of stuff, right? And then one day he came up to me, and he's a pothead. That's the funny thing. He was a druggie and a pothead. And one day he came up to me. he saw me sitting there. He's like, why don't you go lift weights? He's like, at least then you feel better about yourself. And I don't know why he said that. Whatever you believe in, right? Religion, whatever. I don't know what made him say that. Yeah. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I was like, I don't even know what those are. Like I don't, I'm a sheltered person. I don't know what those are. I introvert, you know what I mean? And then, so he's like, oh yeah, go with me down into the gym, which is, he was on the ground floor. It looked like a dungeon, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just iron, right? You just have iron, everything's rusted, all that stuff.
And
you
just
just
gym, man. Old school.
Yes,
baby,
it's very old school. Yeah. We were playing 80s, there was 80s songs in there, and White Snake, right? Yeah, rock, Metallica, that was always in there. White Snake, Aerosmith, all those things, and it would just boom, 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 and it looked like a fight club almost, like that atmosphere. Everybody just in there like cutthroat. They gave you like the weird look already. I already got a weird look. It didn't matter. Right. But I, at the point I was like, I have nothing to lose. Like, I don't give a I don't care if you beat me up. Like, I'm already here anyway. Okay. I don't know what I was like, cause like I said, I'm getting emotional with it because that actually changed my life because from that day on, he showed me what a bench press was, and I could lift the bar. I could barely lift the bar.
45 pounds. Yeah.
75 pounds.
Yep.
Right. And I remembered from that day, the very first day I came in there, I saw the bar and I was like, oh, this is heavy as hell. Yeah. And everybody was like looking at me kind of funny, like, damn, that guy can't, you know what I mean? Like, he can't do shit. And I'm like, all right. And I saw the guy next to me, because there's two benches. I saw a guy next to me do the 45s. And then I look around, I'm like, wait, 45 is the biggest plate there is. And I said, okay, this is my goal. I'm going to do one rep of 45 on each side. So at that time, it was 135, and that weighed more than me. And I was hell-bent every day. I went in the gym after school. I go in there. I didn't care. I had homework. I didn't care. Everybody, all the jocks, wanted to push you around. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'll wait until you're done. I get my set in. And I was just in there by myself all the time, like grinding for 2-3 hours. And then I would learn different things by seeing what other people did. I didn't even know the form, right? Maybe I was doing it wrong. I didn't know the form. I was like, okay, triceps. So I did, my favorites are triceps till this day, push-ups, all those things, and tricep pull downs and squats, all those things. And after that, about a year in, I got my first, like my one rep max was 135. I literally was lit. Like, I was jumping around. I was so happy. I was the happiest kid in the world. You couldn't. I felt so invigorated and motivated that I was like, man, I could do something now. And then it started. The funny thing is, it started to turn into a set of 5, then a set of 10, then 3 sets of 10, and then 5 sets of 10. And I was going into like endurance at that point, and then I was getting really like muscular. And then people started interacting with me differently. I didn't do anything different. I still was the same guy, but they saw me in a different way. They were very like almost intimidated. It was weird. Like, I walk to the same people now, and they stopped talking shit.
You know what,
I'm
though,
like, this is so weird.
And I honestly believe this, man. I think when people are intimidated by confidence, and I really do think that. And like, you did nothing as far as like emotionally, but you put yourself, you put a goal in front of you, and you work your ass off to get there, and then that feeling becomes addictive, right? It's like, now what else can I do? What else can I do? And I can totally
seriously.
Yeah.
And I think they were afraid of the fact that this guy is growing, that he had the potential to outgrow me. Yeah. Like if you're a jock, you're like, yeah, I'm the tough guy and all this. And all of a sudden you see this guy go from 0 to like all of a sudden, and it's like, wait, what? Maybe this guy is gonna, go past me even if I'm not careful, right? So it becomes like a energy thing. And so that's why I said, after I saw that, I said, I dropped all the negativity after that, because I was like, this is weird, because I could do the same thing to that person, right? Like, I could go back and say, you know what, you talked a lot of shit, now it's my turn, right? And give it back, but it didn't. Right, and I was like, man, and then funny thing is, a few years down the line after we graduated high school and into college, I did some of my undergrad there. They started asking me for things like to train and work out and stuff.
That's funny.
So like I said, I can't hate these people because I either misunderstood, or they maybe were not emotionally mature enough at that age, because that's how we've all been there, right?
People, people change, right?
Yeah.
And I did a bunch of dumb shit as a kid too. I mean, it's
live and let live, dude. It doesn't matter. Live and let live.
It's funny, man. That story I can definitely relate to. I played college football for a year out of high school, and I remember, so I was 155 pounds out of high school, and
still way more than they did. You need some of that weight. You need some muscle.
I was 145. I'm sorry, I was 145, but still. And I was a wide receiver, and I'm short. I'm just under 5'7". I say 5'7" in the program, the cleats, But I remember, because I went to California for high school or for college, and my coach, when I was getting recruited the year before, was like, kind of setting me up for the expectations for when we got to camp. And the bench press test, like in the NFL, is 225 pounds. And that's what you do in camp, is how many reps of 225 you can do.
Can you do?
And in college, because you have, kids coming out of high school, they'll have 225 and 185. So my mentality was I didn't want to have to do the 185. I wanted to go in there and prove myself. Like, listen, man,
And
like,
get
yeah,
right.
I
I belong here, basically,
Yep.
right?
So I went in, and I'll never forget. I trained my ass off, just like you did with the bench press. You know what I mean? Because me, I always say I look like Mario. You know what I mean? I'm this little guy, little Italian guy. And but I worked my ass off trying to get 225.
Right.
Doing pyramids and all
Right.
kinds of stuff to get there. And I'll never forget. I was the only wide receiver on my college football team to test at 225. I only got 5 or 6, I think, but still,
right.
All the wide receivers had that mentality of, I'm just going to do the easier one, because I can do it.
Because I can do it, right?
Yeah, that gained a lot of, because when I went to college, obviously I show up to college football and I'm 5'7", I'm telling people I'm a wide receiver, they're like, what?
They're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and then I sat down, I did that bench press, and then, that like
you gain,
talking about
right.
that confidence thing, you know what I mean? People respect confidence. People can tell when you're a confident person.
Right.
That went a long way. That was a big life lesson for me. Right. That bench press story did. I don't even think my fiance ever heard that story. Like that's one of those memories that was lodged in my brain.
Hey, yeah. Same thing. Same. It's the same with, and that's what it goes back to the whole solo sports. Like I've done wrestling, I've done cross country, and all these. You could say that there is a team, but really it's improving yourself, all your times, all your technique and things like that. Same with martial arts. A lot of I took judo, I took jujitsu, I did some Western boxing. Oh, what's that?
That's what Mo was just saying too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like why I was saying that, because I'm like, I'm in it for the personal journey of discipline, really disciplining myself as far as physically, right? Like really being really strong in tough situations, and then mentally as well. And that's the epitome of really cycling too. Like when you're in a rep, you know what I mean? Like when you're in an interval and you just hate it, you're like, I gotta suck it up. I still have to do it, right? Same thing. Same with martial arts. It's just that you build that confidence of not caring what other people think, but knowing that you could potentially defend yourself if anything happens anyway, right?
I think it's less not care. Like you don't outwardly say I don't give a shit. Right. But you think it's more focused. I'm hyper focused on myself.
Me.
Yeah.
Right. It's about me. It's not about you, right?
Right.
Right. Because I can't change what you do, right? If you hate me, I cannot change that, but I can change how I approach it, right?
So I'm a big fan of the Rogan podcast, and I mean. Crazy! I listen to the most popular podcast in the world. But
hey,
one of the things he always talks about, which I love, is being comfortable with the uncomfortable. This, and it's this whole I take so many things from different areas that I piece together and kind of form me, right? And when I cycle or just triathlon in general, I love the idea of. You could always get better. You could always train harder or train smarter, or it's your alarm goes off. It's getting your feet on the ground. That's the first step. It's that discipline, and that bleeds over to everything in life. I think. You know what I mean?
Of course.
You can't be.
Of course.
You can't be training your ass off. 6 days a week in triathlon, and getting blackout hammered every night. You can't do that. You know what I mean? It's
no.
And then it's. You have a finite amount of time in the morning before you go to work. You know what I mean? So then you go to work, you're coming in fresh off a workout. You feel great, and then you kind of, for me, and I don't know if you're this way, but if I'm not working out, my mind is all over the place.
I already know what. Yeah, I already know what you're saying, dude. Like you get a withdrawal almost.
Yes.
Like a mental withdrawal, right? Like you're just like, I need. It's almost like a drug. Yeah. It's a good one.
No, that's right.
You know what I mean? It's a good one.
My body kind of works in this way where it's like if I wake up and I don't work out, I get antsy. My body's
it's missing. What are we doing? You're missing something.
Let's go. Yeah, exactly.
It's like breakfast. You're missing something food or something, right?
It's essential for me to have to work out. Otherwise, I can't think. I feel like I'm lazy or I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. So we are definitely it. Yep, we're routine creatures.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why for me, I was this Twitch thing when I was first getting into it. I'm when I was debating on whether or not I wanted to continue. I'm I'm riding my damn bike every day, anyways. like, why not do it with other people and have it be more
Yeah.
exciting, you know? And it's making me be accountable too. That's why I love putting my schedule up and saying, you know, 7:30 a.m. every Monday through Friday, I'll be on that bike. You know what I mean? Because it holds me accountable to doing that too.
I've never had issues with accountability, and I think maybe, and I'm lightly stereotyping myself. I think it's an Asian thing because our families like expect you to do whatever you're like, right? Like at school, it's like 7 o'clock. If I'm not awake, they're gonna come in with like a broomstick or something to get out of bed, like you know what I mean, like so you're already ahead of the planning, and so for us or for me, and maybe it's just me, I never have to tell myself like, oh, tomorrow I have to go on, because it's like you said, it's like a routine, like it's a reflex.
Right.
Like I wake up like, all right, I gotta eat. After that, I gotta stream. After that, I gotta do this.
Yep.
Like when you are too busy. If you are busy with success, you don't have time, like you were saying, you don't have time to go drinking, you don't have time to go to a club, you don't have time to socialize. When you're that absorbed into success, literally every minute of what you have, you can't even afford to waste it because you know what you want to do.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Like at midnight, I was still Googling, like, how do I set up my camera? Or how do I make this overlay? And it's like 2 o'clock and you're like, oh crap, I legit need to sleep, even though I want to improve my stream, because if I don't, it's going to make tomorrow worse, right? So it's like,
I think that's that's the nail on the head, man. I can't relate to anything more that you said than that right there. I mean, it's constant, right? It's like, when I go on to watch someone, or I'll be like, oh, that's good, I got to do that. And like, I have a book of notes of things that I want to do, I need to learn, and I'm constantly engaging myself. And it goes back to like what I said is, it gets overwhelming if you look at everything at once and try to learn everything.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
You just simply can't
Yeah.
like learn Discord in a day. It just it ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
You know, and
that's right.
I'm waking up in the middle of the night like, oh shit, let me get on real quick and let me see, you know, I gotta strike while the iron's hot if I'm thinking about something, you know what I mean? Because you lose the idea, the creativity is there. That's right. And when I think what draws me to this so much is, it's like you said earlier, it's your business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
treat it like a business.
Yeah, it is. It's just everything that we do on here is us. You know, you're not depending on anybody else. I mean, the community obviously is, you know, what drives us to do this, but I mean, it's your product. You know what I mean? If it sucks, it's on you. If it's great, it's on you. Everything is on you.
It's nobody. Yeah, the failure is upon yourself. Is nobody else. Yeah. That's another reason why I like those solo sports. Like in basketball, when you fail, you kind of fail as a team. Yeah. Like, okay, they're gonna say like, maybe you're the one that missed that shot, but it's like, you know, they're gonna blame the whole team, right?
3 quarters before that, yeah.
Yeah, but exactly. But like if you're like I don't know, Iron Man, or if you're jiu-jitsu player or judo, if you don't land that throw, or if you don't do that submission, or you did something out of ordinary, or the only person that could have, you know, could have made that better or worse. Like, so that's what I like. That's
what drew me to endurance sports in the first place, because
Same.
Like I told you, I'm 5'7", you know, I'm not going to the NFL, I'm not going to the NBA, you know what I mean? Like
I have T-Rex arms, man. I ain't going nowhere. I'm reaching for my cup, like, let's go.
And that's what like I love about the endurance sports is it's like you can put a road map, you know what I mean, and just kind of like, if I do this on a daily basis and grind, I will get better. Like, it's quantifiable. I love that. I love that idea.
Right.
The community is great, like we talk about all the time, and just that idea of like, after a race, like I'll run I'll do like a triathlon, and I immediately like, all right, that first transition, you know, if I did that flying amount wasn't like the best that I could have done, I could have shaved off a couple seconds, you know, or, you know, that run, I punched it too hard up the hill and I tired myself out. If I slow down up the hill and then, you know, but like whatever, I love that idea of just constantly pursuing a better time. You know what I mean? It's like you said, you're racing against yourself, you know, and then, hey, along the way, you're just going to find yourself being at the head of the pack if you're just consistent and going hard, you know, and that's what really drew me to the sport. I really like it, you know, that aspect of it, mental
for
flight,
sure,
you know. Well, I will tell you what, man, it is an hour and a half into this. Can you believe it?
Time flies when you have fun.
Time flies when you're having fun. I'm happy that you had fun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything that we didn't go over that you would want to, maybe throw out there, or anything like, that we didn't cover?
I would say that anybody that's looking to do either a sport, or maybe they are trying to stream, maybe they're timid and saying, you know what, maybe it's not for me, or they're afraid of something. I would say you got to turn that around. It's like you're saying, you got to just close your eyes, or you know what I mean? Like just jump in, plug your nose, jump in. Because as human beings, we are derived, all our actions come from either our past experiences or our environment, but it comes down to fear or love of something. So if you have a fear of something, you'll probably never do it. So you have to turn it into a love of something. So you just have to try it. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Right. But you got to try it. So that's what in my opinion, is like, you just have to go for it. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Words of wisdom from the bike beast himself, everybody.
Hey, that's right.
Well, listen, I am going to, after we get off here, shoot me your links for all your social media channels. I always put them in the show notes. So I'm telling you, I'm not just, tooting this guy's horn here because he's here. He's awesome to watch. So if you are thinking about getting into streaming or Zwifting, this is a great place to start to see what the potential of your stream could be. It's
that's right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I'll put all the links in there so you can watch them, and go rest up, go study up, whatever you're gonna do. I'm sure.
All right, thank you, dude. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, thanks for watching.
All right, you take care.
All right, see ya.
All right, see ya.
Goddamn road 3 times, and I'd run all the red lights across a million seas just to have you next to me. Paris and Tokyo, I go where I have to go. Screw geography.